So, good morning again, my friends. After a very interesting workout, and very good one, I will add, I must give you a quick, not quite finished with the book review of Nevernight. Now, I am like 50 pages from being done. I know a spoiler because my friend leaked it. Part of our book group, we read this book. Now, the book itself, it's good. I have some issues with the spicy parts written by a grown man about a 16-year-old girl and her experiences in that department. And that makes it a little bit cringeworthy. But the story itself and the lore and the other parts of that book, the schooling, and it's basically about a bunch of kids that were groomed to be assassins. And they go off to an assassin school, kind of like Hogwarts, to hone their skills. And it's been it's way more than 10 pages a day for me. I am somewhere usually I'm a book a month, and we're a little more than halfway through this month, and I'm way more than halfway through this book. Will I read the next two books? Maybe. Again, really good writing. I like the interesting magic that's in there. There are parts in it that if my D&D group weren't reading this as a book club book, that I would use in our D&D campaign. But since they know how it works, it wouldn't be as good. On the other hand, this book, I think everybody should read. Gideon the Ninth was well written, and the love story isn't graphic. The love story in Nevernight isn't necessarily important to the story. It's just kind of there. It's kind of like watching an 80s movie when there's nudity just for the sake of nudity. And for me, I'm not a 14-year-old boy anymore. It wasn't necessary. They could have cut 5 pages out of both those scenes that I've read so far, and it would have still made the story just as interesting. They could have said they spent the night together instead of going into detail about it. Again, that's my personal opinion on it. Some people really like that kind of stuff. In my sci-fi and fantasy, I don't need it as much. It's been interesting. I'm going to finish that book probably this weekend. And then I don't know what we're going to choose for our next book club book. I'm hoping someone else chooses this time so I get a different perspective on what we're going to read. So, I'm going to remind you again to drink your water, read your 10 pages, but most of all, remember that love is love. And if you need a hug, you can find me, Chef Bob.